Right guys, good afternoon and welcome from Minsk, and today I'm going to take you on a little journey. It's a special one for you guys, and back by popular demand we have Mr. Ihar Melnikau.
Hello, how are you?
And Ihar, we're here on a trip, an excursion, and what exactly are we here for, and where exactly are we?
I'm here, I'm before you, that's why we are talking about military history, that's why we are talking about Second World War, and we are not far from the center of Minsk, but in the 1930s it was not the center of Minsk, of course. Chernyshevskaya Street and Kalina Street, it was in 1937 here built a big military settlement called Pushkinsky, because in 1937 it was a big anniversary of 100 years of Pushkin, Alexander Pushkin, a big famous Russian poet, death. So here on this place was built a big district for military of Red Army. And during the German occupation here was a big German garrison and also a big so-called concentration camp or Stalag for Soviet POWs. And the Germans made here some pillboxes. One of these pillboxes we have here.
Okay.
It's a typical German concrete pillbox with a hole for machine gun and two holes for machine guns. And
So you've one here just below the pillbox. This is one of the holes for the machine guns.
Yep, yep,
okay,
yep.
and we see on the other side then we also have another hole then on the other side for the actual pillbox itself, for the machine guns to focus out of. Okay.
And it was built very close to the house just to protect its house, because here we have a original house from 1930s. Those so-called house for officers of the Red Army soldiers. We have several pillboxes here. We have some pillboxes in other parts of Minsk, and we have close to this place German Stalag.
Okay, we're actually not far from Park Chelyskitsev metro station, and also over here then is Ulica Kalina Street, and this street here is called Chernyshevskaya. Okay, so if you look at the pillbox here, so this pillbox was built during the Second World War, during the German occupation of Minsk, of Belarus, and you can still see some of the bullet holes. Actually in the pillbox itself.
It's an interesting moment because during the German occupation, during German-Soviet war, so-called, in 1941, Germans occupied this territory for the first in the whole Minsk. On the second day of war, they started war from 22nd of June 1941, and on the fifth day of war, they came already to Minsk, and the second day, on the 8th day of war, they were already in Minsk. And it's a problem that this region of Minsk was occupied by Germans for the first, because they came here by the bikes, bicycles, and they occupied this Pushkinsky settlement, and they were here in this district. After that, and one day they moved to the center of Minsk and occupied the center of Minsk. They started war the 22nd of June, and the 28th of June they were already in Minsk.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. We're now at the second pillbox. We are just off of Prospect Nezavismosty, about 100 yards just down from Plощadь Yakuba Kolesa, right in the center of Minsk. And we have our second pillbox right in the city center here, and Ihar is going to explain a bit more about it.
Third pillbox, because we already two have seen. We have very close to the Ploshcha Nezalezhnosti, one of the main streets of Minsk, one of the main avenues. And here we have another concrete German pillbox. It was also built here not suddenly, because here we have buildings, original buildings from the 1930s, buildings which were built especially for the members of the Communist Party in the Soviet Belarus. And here we have original building of school in the interwar period, and now it's a Belarusian speaking gymnasium number 23. And it's interesting that this pillbox is staying opposite another pillbox. So next to these houses, and front we have another pillbox. Unfortunately, it's buried, and this pillbox was staying in front of the Catholic Church of Saint Roch, Святый Рог, and you will see original picture of this building with two German or Wehrmacht soldiers. Now I think that this German pillbox is buried because it was staying in front of the entrance to the Saint Roch Cathedral. And well, one of the biggest concrete pillboxes here.
So can you tell me, what is this pillbox used for now? Is it used for storage or?
No.
Because we have a kind of a duct here, kind of like an air duct.
I think that it's used for different engineering constructions inside, but I don't know exactly because it's a part of gymnasium, parts of school, of course, without any holes for machine guns, of course, because it was just rebuilt. But well, in the center of Minsk, very close to the monument of victory, on the Victory Square, we have this artifact of the Second World War, of German occupation of Minsk.
And why do they actually build these pillboxes right next to buildings? Why did they do this?
I think the main idea is to protect these buildings, just because in 1941 Germans destroyed a lot of buildings in the center of Minsk. So during the German occupation they have to use only normal, not destructed buildings, yes, and in the center they have several buildings, such kind of these buildings, for example. That's why they have to protect them against the local population, against the Soviet army, and so on and so forth. That's why they have to build such kind of pillboxes. Of course, not against cannon guns, but for just several soldiers with machine gun. It was a really severe weapon.
Yeah, but not against, obviously, a panzer.
No, of course, not for the panzer, but Soviet resistance have no panzers. That's why these pillboxes for machine guns were not so bad.
Okay. For those of you who don't know where we are at Nemiga, and right in front of me is the Svislach River, right in the dead center of Minsk, and I'm standing on a part of a complex. Now, across the road here, many cars, many motorists, indeed many locals pass by this place without knowing what exactly it is. However, what I'm standing on here, guys, has a very interesting history. And Ihar, as usual, is on hand.
Yes,
explain
I'm ready.
Exactly what it is.
So we are on the top of a very interesting building. In the period of German occupation, Nazis made here a big radio station. It was one of the main radio stations for the whole German military group center. It was used by Germans. They put here pillboxes for machine guns. One of the pillbox here we have, and we are on the roof of this building, and now it's just like walking the parking. Also, it was very important to build such kind of building because next side of the bank of the river, of the Svislach River, we have another pillbox will go there, but next to these buildings we have Jewish ghetto. One Jewish ghetto for local Belarusian Jews, and another Jewish ghetto for Jews who came from another part of Europe. So now at the center of Minsk, there we have old city or high city of Minsk.
Yeah, and as you can see across from there, yeah.
Yep, and here we have very important military building. But it's interesting to say that after the Second World War, Soviet army used this military building as a main radio station for the whole armies of Warsaw Treaty. That's why it was really very important until 1990s. After 1990s, of course, there were no military forces here. Well, some people tried to destroy this building, but thanks God it's staying here in the center, and I hope that here will be a museum.
Okay, so anyway, we're actually on top of the actual complex itself. So let's have a bit of a closer look with the actual complex here, okay? And as we can see here in front of me, I think we have what is known as a chimney, yeah, for the duct for air and so on, okay? Now, Ihar mentioned another part of the complex itself. Okay, so this is a bunker, another bunker here right in the center of Nemiga, and as you can see here we have the slit for the machine gunners, This one could had a capacity of about 2 to 3 soldiers inside it. Okay, so as you can see, it was used up to about 30 years ago. Okay, this entire complex itself. All right, now it's vast. It is vast, and as Ihar said, many people, when they pass by here, they actually don't know this place. Many locals actually don't know the history about this place. And now we're going to go down to the main part. Should I move down to the main part?
Yeah, it's difficult to go there, but we can go through and we can watch it.
Yeah, so we got to be careful.
Yes,
Whoops.
be careful because it's winter, but
It's slippy.
yeah.
Oh God, right, dude.
Yeah.
Let's move down.
And here we have a wall, brick wall. It's normal brick wall. Unfortunately, it's now closed and it's a place for the garbage. But really, very important military building object during the Second World War.
We see it's now covered in graffiti, but as you mentioned, this place has this place had you know, it was very important for the Wehrmacht.
Very important for Nazis, which occupied Minsk, and very important for military forces, German military forces here, and it was a center of the city. Of course, not these buildings, they were such small buildings here, and a very important big building. Once again, there they have also a very important objects during the occupation period, ghettos. And there we have another pillbox, and well, these radio station, once again used by military forces until 1990s, until 20th century, end of the 20th century.
Okay, so during the German occupation, which army group actually used this?
Center, Group Army Center. It was used by Group Army Center, and well, it was not the highest building of Minsk, but it was just one store building. And I spoke with different people. They said that after Second World War, even the end of 1980s, here you can find different elements, rubber, for example, from German period, different elements of radio stations from German period. But unfortunately, now it's rubber and in this ugly situation. And upstairs we have parking.
The parking, so actually cars park on top of this, and if we turn to the side here, okay, we can see some slits here in the actual wall. I'm going to try and move up a bit.
Be careful.
Yes, be very careful. Okay, so we have the slits here.
Yeah, we have to have a light, but
And there's garbage inside this thing. So yeah, as you see, it's all now covered in graffiti from locals, and I don't know if you can see inside the actual bunker itself.
I can make a light a little bit.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. Yeah, can you get a lamp in there or a torch in there, and just we can see inside. Okay, this is actually inside the bunker, guys.
It's not good.
Not the best.
Not the best thing.
Okay, so it's just dark as such, unfortunately. Okay, all right. Anyway, we'll just have a look anyway. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is one of the main bunkers here in Minsk. And as I mentioned, a lot of people, a lot of locals here, they pass by and they do not know the significance of this building. But anyway, this is our job. This is where we're here to let you know. Right across from the Belarus Hotel, right in the center of Namiga. Welcome back, guys. We are now on Prospect Pobiteli, and right across the road you can see the Museum of the Great Patriotic War, and right next to it then is Park Pobedi. Now, I've often passed by this place many times, and to the right of me is the Hotel Planeta. Okay, this building here is a very famous Minsk landmark. It says Minsk Gorod Hero, Minsk Hero City in the Second World War. And right in front of me is this conical shaped object, and I've often wondered what the hell it actually is. But thankfully, guys, we have Ihar on hand, and he's going to explain exactly what it is.
Well, it's one of the German pillboxes here in the center of Minsk. You already said, but this is a Prospect Piramorso, one of the main prospects or avenues of Minsk. There we have a monument of Minsk Hero City. It was built in 1985, but next to it is a Great Patriotic Museum, and thanks to God we have here original building of the German pillboxes from the period of the Second World War. Of course, these buildings are new, but this pillbox was built especially to protect this concrete building during attacks from air. And there were some holes for machine guns, for German machine guns, MG, and even in the 1980s there were holes here. Well, I remember that some people tried to destroy it. They have an idea to destroy these pillbox, but thanks God we have it here in the center. It was built not suddenly, because very close to this place we have a Jewish ghetto, ghetto for local Jews, and next to it we have Zonderghetto, and very close to this place we have Zaslavskaya Street, where we have monument Yama or pit, where in 1942 a lot of Jews from Minsk ghetto were killed. So this original building were placed here, even reconstructed, because we have here a new concrete, and well, in the center of Minsk, very close to the radio station, which is on the next side of the
That's where we were
river.
just in the previous video, yeah.
And well, very close we have not big this destination, not big the distance between two pillboxes, but well, we have another example of German pillboxes during Second World War. Another, well, elements of the remembrance of the German occupation. And it's important to understand that this park was opened on May 1945, at the end of the Second World War. And next to it we have Komsomolsky Lake, Komsomolskaya ozero, which was opened on June 1941. So we have beginning of the German-Soviet War and the end of the Second World War.
Okay guys, we're coming towards the end of our tour. As you can see, it's starting to snow heavily out. Winter has finally arrived here in Belarus. Well, the snow has, okay. And before we leave you for the rest of the day, Ihar has actually dragged me to this place near Kalvarsky Street.
Kalvaryskaya Street, yes, it's very close to here, next to this building, and we are here very close to the new
this final pillbox here.
Pillbox, German pillbox, which was built very close to the Jewish ghetto. It's typical German pillbox for one machine gun here, and well, it's not so high, not so big, but you can see it participated in the battle.
We see the bullet holes here, yeah.
Yes, in 1944. Really, we have finally Merry Christmas weather. That's why we have to finish. But it's really very interesting. The center of Minsk, center of the capital of the independent republic, but we have so interesting elements of this history of the Second World War.
Yeah, and the ironic thing about it is we are right in the middle of a children's playground.
Yes.
We have
it's children's playground, and it's now just closed, and it's just an element for playing for the kids here.
Yeah, okay, so just go around to the other part of it. As you can see, lots of bullet holes, shrapnel holes. This is quite a big hole, bullet hole inside it.
Maybe
and
from a tank or something like that.
probably, yes. Okay, and right in front of us here was the actual entrance. Now, of course, it's all
just
been
like for
bricked up.
two or one. The crew was not so big. It was just like for two or one man, German soldier, and well, really. Now it's an element of not only playground, but of the all very difficult Belarusian history.
Okay. All right, guys, that is it then for today. Thank you very much for being on our tour. And before I go, I'd like to say, give Ihar the final word.
Yes, I invite you all to Belarus to visit very, very beautiful country, and to visit my tours, tour about the Second World War, tour about the border, which was very close to Minsk, and well, just come to Belarus and visit this very, very beautiful country.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned, you can see the previous videos about the tours here and about the Jewish ghetto here on the top right hand corner of the page.
And visit my page, Historia Poboc, History is Close, and my page on Facebook, so the links Neil will just put here.
Yeah, I'll put the links below. On that, guys, do swidania, do встречи.
До побачення.